Returning to our top story now in the U.S. tariffs on Canadian exports, which have been officially announced and will start on Tuesday. To talk more about how this may play out in the days ahead, we're joined by the former Deputy Prime Minister and current Liberal leadership candidate, Canadian Freeland. Thanks for being with us today. Great to be with you, Carolyn. It is really an existential moment for Canada, and thank you for reporting on it. Well, you've been vocal about the need for strong and precise responses to President Trump's tariffs. What does that look like in your opinion? Well, we need to be united, strong, and smart. We need to recognize this is a critical moment for our country. We need to recognize that we can get through this and we can win. But we can only do that if we do the right things. So what I think we need to do today is publish a detailed retaliation list. It needs to be big, bigger than our retaliation ultimately will be. It should be $200 billion worth. And it needs to be very specific because what we need to recognize is President Trump doesn't really care about us. He cares about Americans. And so we need to use the market power that Canada has as the largest export market for the U.S. to activate those internal stakeholders in the U.S. and get them to say to the president, wait a minute, this is going to hurt us. Is there not a risk, however, that retaliatory tariffs will only turn up the temperature with this president instead of using diplomacy to cool it down and to find a way out of this? Look, the reality with President Trump is the only thing he respects is strength. For this president, weakness is a provocation. The only way that we're going to get through this is by showing him that we're not scared, by showing him, hang on a minute, Canada is your biggest market. We're larger than China, Japan, the UK, and France combined. I think a lot of Canadians are feeling really angry, and so I think each one of us needs to use our own personal power when we go out buying groceries today. Let's buy Canadian. And if you can't find a Canadian product, be sure not to buy American. Boycott them as long as they're beating up on us. I think each one of us can have our personal retaliation. It will make us feel better, it will make us feel stronger, and it's going to help our country to win. Let's talk about that for a second because you did have experience negotiating with the first Trump administration for several years. So based on your knowledge and that experience, what should Canadians be bracing for here? I think we should be bracing for a lot of tough language. We should be bracing for them to push us as far as they can. That's how President Trump operates. He senses weakness, and if he senses it, he keeps on pushing. So, we need to recognize that we need to be strong in response. And then the third thing that we need to do is look for allies and partners around the world. Let's remember Canada has a trade deal with the EU. We have a trade deal with the countries of Asia. Let's talk to those allies and those partners because a coordinated international response will give us even more strength. President Trump is saying among the reasons for the tariffs are issues with border security and fentanyl flowing into the U.S. from Canada. Do you think that's what this is really about? Look, it seems like the Americans have a new reason every day, right? Right now it's fentanyl. There was a while when it was asylum seekers. Sometimes they've been talking about the trade balance. I think we have to recognize that this is really a movable feast, and there's a new rationale every day. What is really going on is a bully trying to push us around, and what we need to do is be strong. Say we are not intimidated. Have a retaliation plan, including 100% tariffs on Teslas that targets the U.S. stakeholders Trump cares about. Give them an exit ramp and say to Americans, come on guys, it doesn't have to be this way. We are your best ally, neighbor, friend, and partner. And we can continue to be that if you just stop beating us up and work hard with our allies. Canadian Freeland, thank you for your time today.